conversations on Twitter, that is at Smart24, or on my personal handle at Anthony Sebale. So we get into our stories now. Kadaga, who is the first Deputy Prime Minister of Uganda, but also represents Uganda on the East African Assembly, has, of course, taken the tax harmonization matters to the East African Regional Extraordinary Meeting. Now, despite the directive by the East African Community Council of Ministers made nearly 7.5 years ago, there is little progress made in the harmonization of domestic taxes as well as the indiscriminate tax incentives. This is according to an analysis contained in a drawn by the National Youth Council, that is the East African Community Youth Ambassadors Platform and the Youth for Tax Justice Network. In their petitions, which they currently handed to the Uganda's for East African Community Affairs, Ms. Litwala Rebecca Kadaga, and the Speaker of the Parliament of Uganda, Ms. Annette Among, emphasized the need for regional tax harmonization and evaluation incentives so far dished out indiscriminately. The petitions presented by the NYC National Youth Council Chairperson Mr. Jacob Eyeru further seeks to have Parliament adopt a motion that shall grant youth businesses a 2-year tax holiday for business infancy. This is in line with the East African Council of Ministers directives of 2014 on tax harmonization, which require tax incentives in community to be given to areas of critical market failures, Mr. Eyeru said. The harmonization of tax policies in the region would enable fair competition for investors would provide jobs for many youths in the common market area of the East African community without prejudice. Tax administration designs of one East African community partner state over another. Now, after receiving the petition, as the first Deputy Prime Minister and the Minister of Uganda for East African Community Affairs, Ms. Rebecca Litwala Kadaga, said that the future of the youth begins now in town, and for that she is willing to help them realize their dream as articulated in their petition. She said when they go to the council's meeting in June, she will ask for that they can complete the issue of young people, which she thinks should be prioritized. So, and she said, she added on this one that they can count on her and she's going to be able to follow up. She continued saying that then she will study further this position of tax harmonization because since 2015 date, long time, she will ask to bring it up in an extraordinary meeting by the council. The implementation of the directives of the ministers on harmonization of tax incentives will, according to the youth leadership, provide an opportunity for the youth representative bodies to hold the power that be accountable on youth matters such as unemployment. This is because the responsibilities levied by the directives upon actors within partner states provides unique opportunities to track, place, and question the partner states' tax policies from a youth perspective. That's according to Mr. Eyeru, who said in a separate interview. Going by the Youth for Tax Justice Network analysis on tax harmonization, to this day, only the Republic the republics of Uganda and Kenya have complied, and only in part, to the directives. It further became evident in the analysis that instead member states within the community are simply maneuvering to outbid each other by offering bigger concessions to investors rather than implement the directive. Kenya's 2021 tax expenditure report provides an account of the past 4 years, showing foregone revenues through incentives and exemptions in the VAT tax for expenditures for exempt goods and services, amounting up to 82.9 million Kenyan shillings, and for zero-rated goods and services totaling to 151.4 million Kenyan shillings. In Uganda, however, the overall tax exemption analysis for financial year 2019-2020 shows a total revenue foregone due to tax expenditures amounted to slightly more than 5 trillion Ugandan shillings. As percentage of gross domestic product, GDP, this related to 3.64%, and in the financial year 2019-2020, the largest share of these tax expenditures were registered in international trade taxes, slightly more than 22.1 trillion Ugandan shillings, while the VAT, value-added tax expenditures registered slightly more than 1 trillion, and income tax expenditures stood at 1 trillion Ugandan shillings. To promote the East African community as a single investment area, the Minister's directive provides that there should be a harmonization of investment incentives, that will help the member states harmonize the taxes. Mr. Alan Murangira, who is the YTGN team leader, noted in an interview as well. He also added that although there is a shift toward tax policy coordination for direct taxation, investment incentives are still offered with respect to different industries, and there is no harmonization of taxes. The expert analysis also reveals that the republics of Kenya and Uganda have restrictions on the tax expenditures, but the assessment of these tax incentives is focused on the impact on revenue only, and not on the other relevant market indices like jobs created for the population through the tax expenditures and the potential foregone to medium term in offered incentives. Of course, they are coming in from the East African community who are looking at tax harmonization and how this is help the economy in terms of creating jobs, in terms of people paying taxes promptly, and of course having fair taxes on all the goods across East Africa. Moving on to another story, Safaricom's Sylvia Molinge has replaced Wim van le Hoop as MTN Uganda boss. Now, the telecom giant MTN Uganda has appointed public limited company's chief business officer, Miss Sylvia Wairimu Molinge, as its new chief executive officer, replacing Mr. Van le Hoop, who has been promoted to a regional role as operating executive for the WECA markets of Liberia, Guinea-Conakry, Guinea-Bissau, and Congo-Brazzaville within the MTN group. The telecom giant said Thursday that Mr. Van Helput would cease to be the executive officer effective July 31st, 2022, following the end of his tenure before taking on a new role effective 1st of August 2022. During his 6 years of service, Mr. Vim is said to have delivered the renewal of MTN's NTO license, the separation of the mobile services business from the telecom business, and the initial public offer and listing of the company on the Uganda Securities Exchange. The board, according to the chairman of the board of directors, Mr. Charles Mbire, and of course we quote that the board is grateful to Mr. Van Hoop for his outstanding service over the years and contribution to the company's growth during that period, and they wish him the best. That's according to Mr. Charles Mbide, the chairman of the board of directors. In her current role at Safaricom, Miss Mulinge is responsible for driving the consumer telecoms business and managing the overall and leading the transformation of Safaricom to become a digital lifestyle enabler of consumers' lives. She joined Safaricom in 2007 and has occupied various senior roles over the years, including the head of retail, the head of sales, the director of consumer business. She's a graduate of University of Nairobi, Kenya, where she received a Bachelor of Science degree. That is first class honors. And she's of course, the chairman board of directors, Mr. Charles Beaver, said that he would like to welcome Sylvia Mulinge Wairimu and he believes that her experience will be beneficial to MTN, particularly given her alignment to their strategic intent of leading digital solutions for Africa's progress. The board is so confident that Ms. Mulinge will continue the work of growing the company as provider of telecommunications and digital solutions in the country. In the interim, the financial officer, Mr. Andrew Bugembe, has been appointed as acting chief executive officer effective 1st of August until September 30th, 2022. In 2019, Mr. Van Lehoop was in the spotlight following his deportation in February the same year over allegations of undermining state security. In June the same year, the President Museveni pardoned him and ordered the Immigration Department to remove him from the stop list. Mr. Vim's departure followed the deportation of the 10 telecom companies' chief marketing officer, Mr. Olivier Prentout, who is French, and Italian Elsa Mus, the general manager of mobile money, and Annie Tabura, Rwandan, the general manager of sales and distribution, and in January over what government called activities that undermined national security. Mr. Vim later petitioned court challenging his deportation and the process used by the Ministry of Internal Affairs to ship him out, contending he was never accorded fair hearing. That is another story there, very interesting gentleman, Mr. Vim there, who is currently moving into the West African market, like Brazzaville, as a bigger person. But he has been CEO for the past 6 years at MTN Uganda, and he has done such a wonderful job, realizing especially the listing of MTN Uganda on the Securities Exchange early in 2020. So yes, kudos to Mr. Vim, and of course we welcome now Miss Sylvia Wairimu, who is coming in from Safaricom. Very, very interesting lady there, up to what she has to offer as per the MTN agenda and seeing the progress of the company in the, in terms of mobile money services and also other services, but as well as in its performance on the exchange, and it keeps growing and having more profit and revenue. That is a story coming in. Yeah, and definitely we'll be looking at what Miss Wairimu is bringing in from Safaricom, which is also a big telecom right there in Kenya. They have the biggest market capitalization on the Nairobi Stock Exchange, and they're one of the leading telecoms as well in East Africa, where you can see them grow over the years. That is one of the stories. Looking at Bitcoin now, let's move into cryptocurrency news. The world's largest crypto, that is Bitcoin, the spot exchange traded fund, lost half of its under management last Friday, and which might be, of course, have exacerbated a crash last Saturday but one. And definitely we are looking at some of the coins here that have been making rounds, and Bitcoin is one of them, and it has done more harm than good to investors, crashing over the weekend and still lingering between the 20,000 and 19,000 mark. Now, according to CoinDesk, which is a licensed manager for cryptocurrency information, currently the coin is one of the biggest losers on the market, and definitely we are seeing a little drop in value since yesterday. And looking at the prices, crypto prices right now as they stand, we have 19,560.38. Okay, a slight increase, about 1.41% over the past 24 hours. And then Ethereum also went up a little bit at 1,070.83. Then Binance Coin also went up a little by 6.73% at 222 US dollars currently. And then XRP at 0.94% increase went up to 0.316292 US dollars. Those are some of the crypto market's biggest coins. Now, the community crypto, of course, has various people that are running the business right now, and we are looking at most of the coins in green this morning, going up a little bit and giving some hope to probably some of the cryptocurrency enthusiasts. Now, El Salvador is one of the countries that actually the very first country to declare cryptocurrency as legal tender. Now, the El Salvador president purchases 80 Bitcoin at 19,000. That is President Bukele. And El Salvador purchased 80 Bitcoins at 19,000 each. According to President Nayib Bukele said on Thursday, Bitcoin is the future. And of course, he says, thank you for selling cheap. That's according to Mr. Bukele in a tweet, accompanied with the text with screenshots of 40 purchases made on Thursday. Last Bitcoin purchase was in May, according to Bukele, when the Central American country acquired 500 coins for a total of 15.3 million US dollar at a price of about 3,744 US dollars. Now, being legal tender, El Salvador purchases Bitcoin for its currency because that's what they use in El Salvador. And according to CoinDesk data, based on Bukele's announcement, El Salvador is 55.03% down on its Bitcoin bet from September to date. And the country has acquired 2,301 coins for a total of 103.9 million US dollars. But its portfolio is currently worth 46 million US dollars worth of Bitcoin. In May, El Salvador Finance Minister Pedro Zelaya said that the Bitcoin amount the country had at the time represented less than 0.5% of its annual budget, adding that Bitcoin losses posed extremely minimal risk to the country's fiscal position. That's according to a report, of course, there. El Salvador. Now, of course, the El Salvador postponed its plan of $1 billion US Bitcoin bond offering because of unfavorable market conditions. That is according to Finance Minister Alejandro Zelaya on Tuesday. The offering was initially scheduled to take place between March 15th and 20th, but the Russia-Ukrainian war and the war's impact on the price of Bitcoin caused the government to change the date, according to Reuters. And he said that, I think this is not the time. There are some moves on the planet, according to Zelaya, adding that he prefers the issuance to occur between March and April. He added that in May and June, and sometimes you can, but the market variables get after September, it is difficult to raise unless you are previously funded, as is the case for Bitcoin bond, he added. Now, according to Zelaya, the Bitcoin bond will have a substantial oversubscription that could reach about 1.5 billion US dollars. And the president, Mr. Nayib Zelaya, announced plans in November to build a Bitcoin city funded by the sale of the bonds, which have an annual coupon of about 6.5%. Half of the funds will be used to accumulate Bitcoin, that is, with the rest earmarked for infrastructure and Bitcoin mining powered by geothermal energy. According to Zelaya, the bond will be issued by state-owned thermal energy company Lagio and will have a sovereign guarantee for the market. And also, according to Zelaya, the bond will be issued as state-owned geothermal-owned company Lagio, which will have a sovereign guarantee provided by the Salvadoran state. That is news, of course, scandal as crypto comes tumbling down. Definitely, if you have your legal tender, you expect to be hit, but the country says, the government is saying, no, look, we are doing very good. Definitely, they have made lots of investment, especially in Bitcoin, which is the biggest coin. But on the crypto market, we are seeing some bearish activity, not so much reds, except Binance USD coin, which has gone down by 0.01%. But the rest of the coins look good. Solana is up in the green. Cardano is also up. Stellar is up. Crypto.com is up, and the Dogecoin as well on the exchange. Definitely, we'll be looking at some more of these later on. Also, you can check out our website at www.smart24tv.com, where you can information on all the financial markets, including stock prices, including Bitcoin prices, Ethereum, and all other cryptocurrencies. You can visit our website for more information on that. But remember, in Uganda, the cryptocurrency transactions at the moment were banned to mobile money. So definitely it's not working well here in Uganda. But in other countries, they're still doing it, and you can as well consider them for your investment. But remember, have enough knowledge before daring to invest in cryptocurrency, because it's a very, very, very risky market, especially at the moment where it's quite unpredictable and not something that you can just bump into. It's exactly 7 minutes to the top of the hour. Thank you for remaining with us. We are still going into the financial markets world. And remember, if you want to take part of the program, you can always YouTube and leave a comment. You can leave a a thumbs up or subscribe to our channel for more information, or leave a question behind. We will be able to respond to it, or bring experts that will be able to respond. And of course, we're going into a break. We return very shortly. Don't go anywhere.